The room is dark. Only the flicker of torches casts jagged shadows on the stone walls. You're naked, trembling, forced forward by hands that leave bruises on your arms. Before you, masked figures chant words you do not understand. A figure draped in animal skins steps forward, his eyes glinting with ritual fire. The chants grow louder. You realize you're not here for pleasure. You're here for sacrifice. Your body is not your own. History has always carried this truth. Desire in the wrong hands can become a weapon. And when power, fear, and control twisted themselves into ritual, the results were among the most horrifying practices humanity has ever conceived. This is not a story about love. It is not about romance or intimacy. It is about domination, about how, across cultures and centuries, sex was twisted into ritual, punishment, and control, turning human bodies into offerings, tools, and prisons. You are about to walk through the darkest corridors of human history, and if you wish to continue exploring the hidden truths of our past, subscribe to History Stories, where we bring you into the skin of history itself. You are born into a world where gods are everywhere, in the rivers, in the storms, in the crops that may fail if not properly appeased. Your village whispers of fertility rites, ceremonies meant to ensure life, but you are the chosen one, and the weight of that choice feels like chains around your neck. In some ancient cultures, sex itself was made into sacrifice. Temple prostitution in Mesopotamia, ritualized couplings to ensure the harvest. In others, virgin girls were taken not for love, but for offering, their bodies turned into bargaining chips with the divine. You lie beneath the chanting sky, your heartbeat louder than the drums. You do not close your eyes, because you know this is not desire, this is control. Painted as holiness, centuries pass. A new form of horror takes root. You are a girl in a small village. The women gather you at dawn, their faces stern, their voices sharp. You're told it is tradition. You're told it is necessary. They hold you down. A blade glints in the sun, and then agony. Female genital mutilation has existed for millennia, a practice justified by purity, by control, by the fear of women's desire. Entire generations scarred, their pain buried in silence. But it was not only women who suffered. You are a boy in imperial China. You are led into a cold chamber, ordered to remove your clothes. You do not understand why. The blade cuts quickly. You scream until your throat is raw. You will never father children, but you will serve. As a eunuch, a loyal servant of the court, your masculinity sacrificed for obedience. And in Europe, a different form of prison emerges: chastity belts, iron contraptions clamped upon women's bodies, locked with keys only men could hold. Love reduced to suspicion, bodies reduced to property. The belt, the blade, the silence. Now imagine you are dragged across a desert, wrists bound, body bruised. You are sold at auction. Strangers' eyes crawl over your skin. You are purchased not as a person, but as property. In Rome, slaves were sexual possessions, expected to obey every whim. In the Ottoman Empire, harems filled with women who had no choice, their lives reduced to the pleasure of the Sultan. And in times of war, entire populations became victims of sexual violence, conquest etched into the bodies of the defeated. The horror is not only the act itself, but the erasure of self, to be seen not as human, but as flesh. Centuries later, you find yourself lying on a table in a pristine Victorian room. White gloves, silver instruments. The doctor tells you this is for your health, that your hysteria must be treated, that your body must be disciplined, but you feel no healing, only humiliation. For in the 19th century, women were subjected to brutal treatments under the guise of medicine. Some were institutionalized, others were experimented upon. All of it cloaked in respectability, yet carrying the same root as every practice before: control of desire. The story does not end with medicine. You are young, searching for belonging. A man tells you he has the answers, that through him you will find purity, enlightenment, salvation, but his demands are always the same: submission, obedience, and in time, your body. Stories blur together. The chanting of priests, the slice of the blade, the iron lock of the belt, the auctioneer's gavel, the doctor's cold eyes, the cult leader's whisper. Different centuries, different continents, but the same truth. Sex, stripped of love, turned into horror. Some of these practices still linger today. Some survive in shadows, others in silence. They are outlawed, condemned, yet not entirely gone. History bleeds into the present, reminding us that the body has always been a battlefield, the site where power asserts itself most cruelly. What do we learn from this? That desire itself was never the crime. It was fear. Fear of women, fear of freedom, fear of loss of control. And so, men wrote rules. Societies forged rituals. Blades cut, chains clamped, fires burned, all in the name of control. You are left with a question. How many lives were stolen, not by the sword, but by the twisting of intimacy into domination? And perhaps, in reflecting on this, we see the truest horror. That history's most terrifying sexual practices were never about sex at all. They were about power, and power, left unchecked, is always capable of horrors yet to come.